Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we will be doing a Q&A regarding IVF.
What is our YouTube channel called?
I think I named it Francesca and Jesse, or Frankie and Jesse, I think.
Welcome back to Frankie and Jesse's
baby
journey. It's gonna add because you already have followers, so we're kind of...
Yeah, just wanted to do a Q&A regarding IVF because we got a lot of questions. So we're going to do the Q&A and then we're going to post the IVF journey video probably next week. So yeah, we're going to answer the most popular questions for you guys. Oh, and this is Rami's ear.
That's right.
Okay, so first I think we'll start by explaining what in vitro fertilization is. So IVF is for people who are having trouble conceiving or people who have fertility issues, people like us, queer relationships,
Same-sex couples. Basically, people who are born female, you only produce like 1 or 2 eggs a month. So when you do IVF, the purpose of injecting those hormones for your cycle, which for me was I think 12 days, is to make you produce more eggs. That it's really that simple. So I was injecting these really high doses of estrogen so that my body was like, whoa, instead of making 1 egg, I'm gonna make 8.
Because he was on testosterone for 4 years, we were only able to produce 8 eggs. We're really lucky that we were able to get 8. So basically he does needles, injections every single day for 10 days. And then he takes a trigger shot to make the eggs drop. So the doctors are able to take out the eggs. And then once the eggs are out, we have a sperm donor. The sperm is right there, ready to go. The sperm goes on the eggs get fertilized and then turn into embryos. So embryos are like the tiny little frozen babies. Mm-hmm. We could have just frozen the eggs without them being fertilized, but the chances of the egg surviving after being frozen is like slimmer. Yeah. So we would have lost more.
If she were to do that, because let's say she has 20, 25, losing some of hers wouldn't be that big of a deal. But for me, because I only have 8, like that process of just freezing my eggs and possibly losing half could have made at the end of the process no baby. Because then after you do that, you have to still then fertilize them. Mm-hmm. And then
freeze them again.
And then freeze them again. And then after that, it has to get implanted in her and survive. We ended up finding out that out of those 8 eggs that were extracted from me during the fertilization process, 5 are mature and ready to be babies, basically.
Yeah. So 5 are ready to go in the freezer. In 2 weeks, we find out the sex of them. We find out more genetic testing. We can basically find out everything about the eggs. So eggs are cooked. They're ready to go. They're in the freezer. So let's just rapid fire into some questions. Yep. One of many questions we get is, who's carrying the babies?
This is the funniest question.
It's my dog. Of course, it's me. I'll be carrying all of the babies that we have throughout our relationship and throughout our marriage. It'll just be me. Well, Jesse's embryos are in the freezer, and once we're ready to implant those will go in me. It'll be our baby. The first baby that we have, we're going to use my eggs, and then the second baby, we're going to use Jesse's eggs, and potentially my egg as well, and make twins. So Jesse's egg, my egg in my stomach, 2 separate babies, and then they come out as twins.
People have been asking us so much, like, why didn't we use her eggs? We are. And make embryos out of mine first because I had such a small chance of even, being successful in this process. Mm-hmm. Me first, and get it out of the way, get those frozen, get those done. And also every month I'm on testosterone kind of made it less of a chance. So we were like, let's do it now. And basically both of our embryos are just gonna be chilling in the freezer.
Waiting until we're ready to get pregnant.
Yeah. For our first pregnancy, we believe we're gonna do insemination.
Insemination, if some of you don't know what that is, basically we're taking the sperm donor's sperm and we are turkey basting it.
In a doctor's office.
In a doctor's office.
Like not us personally.
Yeah. When I'm ovulating. So that's going to be the first. And obviously if we have a few tries of the turkey basting and it doesn't stick, then we would go ahead and implant an embryo. Because having sex and insemination, the likelihood of a baby is only 25%. So that goes for anyone. You were a 25% chance, you were a 25% chance, I was a 25% chance, Romy was a 25% chance, Arlo was a 25% chance. So if it doesn't stick after the first few tries, then we would implant an embryo because certain months I don't want to be pregnant in and I have certain times I don't want to give birth. So we're just going to plan around that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking, do you have to stop taking testosterone to do IVF? Does the IVF affect the progress you've had on testosterone so far?
Those are all such valid questions, because before I did this process, I had those exact same
Yeah,
questions.
we were freaking out because we thought he was going to have to go off testosterone for like 3 months to make this work.
You hear so many different things growing up and on TV and whatever, and from people that like it almost kind of makes the process way more intense than it is. It really only is a 12-day process max, like 10 to 12 days. They did not tell me I had to go off testosterone. I did that on my own because we had left Europe and I had just accidentally forgotten to do my testosterone shot. And then we got back and I knew we were planning on doing this, and I was kind of like, why take it if it might help me, even if it's just a little bit? I wanted to give this one shot my all. I was like, I'm just not going to do my T shot just in case it does affect it at all. There's kind of mixed things about that. I've heard people say that they did their T normally throughout and they were able to get a good number of eggs. I've heard people like, oh no, I stopped like way before. And what I would like give advice for is just to not take your T shot, because it's such a small amount of time. If it was 3 months or even a month or two, I probably still would have done it. But because it was 12 days of my life, I was like, honestly, what's the point? And when you've been on testosterone for a while, not taking 1 or 2 shots is not going to really affect you. You might feel like, oh, some cramping, or like you might feel some dysphoria, but it's not going to reverse testosterone or your transition or anything. So that kind of goes into that second part of that question, like, did this process and injecting those hormones reverse my transition in any way? No, it's not enough time. If I were to do this for an extended period of time, definitely. So you just kind of all in all feel like, ugh, like dysphoria, and you don't feel the best, and you don't feel like whatever. But once again, it's just such a short amount of time of your life that I was able to kind of get past the dysphoria and stuff, just to get through this and I was like thinking like, this is for literally a child for the rest of my life. So that's my kind of advice there. Like, just kind of have a good support system, because it is only like not even 2 weeks.
Who is the sperm donor? We decided to keep that private for now. We do know this person, but we're gonna keep everything private.
I think we eventually will tell people who it is, but that's just down the line, and that's when it feels right for us as a family. And also for him, we're taking his, obviously we care about how he feels about this, so.
How does Arlo feel? It's so crazy because we told them last night something that we're planning, and I feel like we should have recorded it because it was such a good reaction, but I think they're like nervous, excited, like in shock that it's happening. And
do a separate video another time where they can tell you from their own mouth how they feel. But yeah, just to bounce off what Francesca said last night, we kind of like told them some stuff, and you could tell it really like hit them that, oh my god, they're gonna have siblings. And they were kind of saying that, they're like, oh my god, there's gonna be like little siblings running around, and I could kind of see the excitement and stuff in their face. So it was really cute. Tree of Life, that's where we went, and we highly recommend, because honestly this process has been like so great with them. They've been so good with me and understanding, and Asia, our like coordinator slash nurse, she's been like on it to make sure like people use my right pronouns, and she's just so like sensitive to how this is for me. And honestly, could not recommend that place enough, because when I was first looking into this process like 2 years ago, I checked out some places and that was not the experience at all. They literally looked at me like I was a freak. When I would ask questions, they were like rude to me. They kept saying she the whole time, like, just, so not every place is the same. So definitely do your research.
Yeah, when we walked in, there was like pride flags everywhere, trans flags everywhere, so we were like, this is the place.
Oh, it makes you feel safe when you see that. You have to inject a lot, and some of those injections burn, as you will see in videos that we post. I'm like, it's not that bad. That was literally the least of my worries.
But you were taking double.
Triple and quadruple. It's like cramping. I noticed just an uneasiness. I got like leg cramps at night, some heartburn, more mentally painful.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm gonna go through my video I just posted and we'll rapid fire through some of these. How long did the process take? 2 weeks on the dot, basically 12 days.
12
and
days.
Then after the 12 days is the surgery, and then the surgery's healing is about 5 days. How much does it cost? Each $20,000. Total, yeah, the cost was 40 grand for both of us. It's been the biggest struggle during your journey. I think just like the last few days of IVF were probably the hardest, like mentally for you.
I think the mental process of all of this has been the hardest. It's not only like how hard those hormones were, it's that like I check my Instagram and I'm getting hundreds of people just absolutely saying the most horrendous things to me. Yeah, we had a film and I felt horrible and I felt I looked horrible and I was like reading these really awful things, and I had to film and like document it. I did it because I do think it's so important. Like this needs to be out there.
Seeing you struggle obviously was not fun at all. It was like really horrible.
Yeah.
And like surgery day, I was nervous. I was trying not to act nervous, but I was like freaking out, and I would freak Jesse out, so I was acting really calm. I think just like the unknown and like the scary parts where we didn't know if this was gonna work, and unknown, yeah, what could go wrong if we do all this and don't get any eggs. If the eggs don't survive, you have to do another round of this, or you don't want to do another round and then we just don't get any eggs. Like that was the scariest part. And
I had decided like when it was at its worst, I was like, I just don't think I can do this to myself again. So this really was my one shot. And so that all of the stuff we're saying shows how important that call was, that 5 are embryos and they're strong and they're like they could be implanted. Like that news just relieved so much of that.
It made it all worth it.
And like we did it. Like we are gonna get a baby out of this.
Together for 2 years, for those who have asked, 2 years and a little bit. What's been the happiest moment of the process? Definitely finding out that we had 5 embryos ready. That's been the happiest.
Also, even when I got out and they said they got 8 eggs out, that was like such an intense moment for me because I knew that meant we had a good chance. I was like, hell yeah.
You decide baby first or getting married first or both. You'll have to wait and find out, my friends.
You'll have to wait and see. Watch Friends. Phoebe finds out in like a day, so.
Our camera died. We charged it for a bit. I think we are done with the video, with the Q&A. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments below and we'll try to answer as much as we can. And yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe because this is our new family channel.
Yeah, this is our new family channel. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.